What's up, Planeswalkers? 3x6 back with some more Magic the Gathering Arena. I literally just stopped singing Dana California. I don't know why I was singing Dana California by Red Hot Chili Peppers, but I was. Anyway, today we're hopping into the new and improved blue-black Improvise deck. We have some sweet new tools from M19, main one being obviously Tezzeret, but actually, starting up the DeckTech, we're going to talk about a card that I'm very happy to have in, and that's 3 Fountain of Renewals. This card, early game, and against aggro, is going to just give you some life, but also importantly, it's another 1-mana artifact. That's something that I felt the deck was really missing, and Fountain of Renewal does enough that it makes the cut in the deck, in my opinion. Maybe you want to trim this to only 2 if you're looking to run more of another card. I still haven't figured out the total numbers yet, but for right now, 3 is fine. As I said, against aggro, it gains you incremental life, which can help you get to the point where you can stabilize. And against control, you can just sacrifice it to draw another card. The fact that it does come down early is fantastic, so you can start putting out other things, and it works really well with things like Scion. I mean, it's a good card. 1-mana artifact, great. Of course, for Renegade Maps, it allows us to maintain a relatively low land count. It acts as a 1-mana artifact, which, as I said, is fantastic, and it can mana fix us if for some reason we need mana fixing. 2 Metalspinner's Puzzleknot. I still think that we only need 2 of these. They're essentially like Prophetic Prisms, 5 and 6. Essentially, they just draw us a card. The entire point of them is to be a relatively cheap artifact that draws through our deck, because we can theoretically run out of gas. Yeah, and it's essentially 2 cards in 1. Prophetic Prism is essentially, like I said with Metalspinner's Puzzleknot, it's just a draw card. It's a cheap artifact that draws a card. Sometimes we will be using the add mana of any color. I should probably be using that more, because I've absolutely lost life to our life lost land. I don't know what the heck that's called. Spire of Industry before, when I didn't need to because I had Prism. 3 Servo Schematics. This essentially is a 2-mana, 2 artifacts in 1. Very good for things like Herald of Anguish, anything that has Improvise. And if, for whatever reason, we get Herald of Anguish out and our opponent hasn't conceded by then, we can sacrifice it to get another artifact. So there's a lot of value in this one card, and it is just a decent early blocker against aggro if we need it. It's also, it's funny, but getting this out on turn 2 against control, it still is going to deal a little bit of damage to them over time and make them maybe want to take a response. So, 2 Metallic Rebuke. I think I lowered this. I think I had 3 in the last iteration of the deck. There are just so many more proactive plays that I want to be making in this iteration that I feel like I wanted to take down the number of Metallic Rebukes down to 2. Now, if you're looking to play a little bit more of a control style deck, maybe with more Planeswalkers, you kind of had those initial couple early artifacts followed by a mid-game of essentially removal, and then entering into a high-end. Then you might want to go up to even 4 Metallic Rebukes, I think would be fine. As well as if you're finding you're facing up against a lot of combo-esque decks, a lot of the Godpharaoh's Gifts. Man, decks, holy crap, I said desks. It's really hard to say for some reason. But if you're coming up against a lot of those decks, then Metallic Rebuke at 4. Totally makes sense. I'm running 2 Psi Master of Thopterus. I have done, as I usually do whenever I change decks, I have done a decent amount of testing, and this card has been fantastic. It comes down early enough against aggro with a 1/4 body that it can survive a decent number of things. It can survive a Chain Roller. Not if they play another thing and another removal, but theoretically, if they have just Chain Roller, right, we can block it and survive. It gets us double value out of all of our artifacts, which is fantastic when we have Prophetic Prism, so we can chain our card draw artifacts. It turns Servo Schematic into a single 3 artifact card, which is fantastic. And late game against control, you can just sacrifice artifacts to draw cards. Honestly, this card is a threat in and of itself against control, because it works on cast, so you don't even have to have the artifact resolve. So even if we play something like Walking Ballista for a ton, and our opponent counters it, we can easily just get the value off the Thopter. They're now potentially tapped out from countering our Ballista, and we just swing in without any negative action being taken on us. I'm running 2 Antiquities War. I think this is up because the mono blue starter deck and the blue white starter deck, I think both had 1, which is fantastic. I toyed around with 3, but I think 2 is where I wanted to be in this first iteration. As you can tell, there's a lot of 2-ofs, and I tried not to do that. But there's so many good cards that work with the strategy. I still haven't decided on what I might want to cut, or if this deck is just fine as is. This card is just a powerhouse. If you can get it early against control, against aggro, it's not as good. Excuse me, just because it doesn't affect the board immediately, but if you can get this down on turn 4 against control, it gives you 2 more cards, and it allows you to have a really annoying swing. And on the turn you swing, if you can hold up something like a Metallic Rebuke to deal with a Settle the Wreckage or something like that, or a... Yeah, no, essentially just Settle the Wreckage is what would answer it. Then your opponent is on his way to death. 2 Tezzeret the Schemers. Once again, those are the only ones I had. I didn't feel like crafting anymore, and now we have another Tezzeret, so I'm fine keeping this at 2. Makes us artifacts that can technically ramp us, kills guys pretty easily, and since it's a minus X, it can kill indestructible people. You're almost never going to -7 with it, but, I mean, if you do, you win, right? So, Karn, unlike most places where Karn is, because Karn is just a value card, we get the value out of his +1 and -1, but also we are able to actually use the -2 effectively because of the number of artifacts we're running. I mean, a pretty easy curve is... Turn 1, 1-mana artifact. Turn 2, 2-mana artifact. Turn 3, probably another 2-mana artifact or something like that. And then you can have Karn make a nice 4/4 on turn 4, so you're getting a Planeswalker as well as a really good blocker. I think that's Urza in the background. I never realized that. I can't actually see him, but there's like stained glass Urza in the back. I didn't realize. And then new Tezzeret is awesome. This card is almost always just draw 2 cards, right? Like you play this for 5 and then you draw 2 cards and then you keep drawing 2 cards. If you really need an artifact, you're really going to be on the back foot, or you're just trying to get out the last threats against control. But even then, you probably just want to draw cards. It's unlikely you're ever going to get to his ultimate for that exact reason. The fact that you're just going to probably keep drawing cards and like never use this plus ability. Also the fact that it's a -9 and he starts at 5, so he's been good so far. I've crafted 2 of them, so I hope he stays good. I'm still running 2 Zahid. A lot of the lists that I've been seeing have not been running any Zahids, but the card is just so good on turn 4 against every deck, right? Against aggro, it just stops their, like, all of their cards, right? Stops their dragons, their phoenixes, their Hazarets, stops the Heart of Kirans. Against control, like it comes down early enough that it can just threaten their life total so fast that it's like a must enter card, and then like they get rid of Zahid, and then your next turn you play Tezzeret Artiface Master. They don't have a counterspell for, and you're like, oh cool, I'm going to now outvalue you, right? So like, I'm gonna be hard pressed to cut this card. I actually did cut 1 Herald of Anguish because there were plenty of new cards I wanted to try, and I found that Herald of Anguish was getting stuck in my hand too often. They do kind of cannibalize themselves a little bit because you are probably going to be using the sack and artifact ability relatively frequently against the decks where it's needed. So, control and mid-range. But against control, you just have the passive ability, which is fantastic. Being able to get this out really early, especially now that we have a more consistent early game with the new 1-drops, is fantastic. Walking Ballista, it's a great card. I had to cut 1 just because I wanted to try new cards. But it's bread and butter. I've seen improvised Tezzeret lists not running this card, and I think it's just wrong. I think Walking Ballista is just like a strong enough card on its own that it just should be in this deck. The fact that it's an artifact is a bonus. And 2 Battle at the Bridge, the new art that I've used. I could have used Tezzeret the Schemer, but I don't like his face in this. Like, other Tezzeret arts have been better. I love everything else about this art. Like, I love his duster, I love his hand in this. I love, like, his hair and his beard, but the red things on his head, they didn't look right at a high resolution. So instead I chose Battle at the Bridge because I think it looks cooler. I think it's a better action angle. So this card is great. Essentially, it's another -X, so it can kill everything that Tezzeret the Schemer can, except it also gains you life, which is very important against the aggro decks. And for our lands, 2 Fetid Pools, a Field of Ruin, just because we might need it. Inventors Fair, probably never going to use it. Yeah, and our high-end cards aren't artifacts, so we're probably still never going to use it. It essentially is just gain some life. Zhalfirin Voids, lands. It's lands. I don't actually have a sideboard for this. This is just cards that I was trying to put in. Like, I cut a Padim. Padim might be good enough to still use, but, other cards. Anyway, let's just get into the game. I've rambled long enough with this deck list. Had to get a drink. Heavenly Evan. Going up against Heavenly Evan. Johnny. Now, you could be asking, Theorix, why aren't you playing with the Tezzeret avatar? Well, 1, we don't want to give it away. 2, Liliana is the best avatar right now because we don't have Bolas. So this hand is actually kind of bad, and the reason it's kind of bad is because we have so many lands. However, we do have an aggressive start, a control-y start, and a Zahid on 4, as well as a Zhalfirin Void to play on turn 1, to kind of fix our draw a little bit. So I actually do think this hand is fine. I would prefer if one of these were like any other artifact, but it's fine that they aren't. This does like guarantee, essentially, we'll be able to play the cards we need. Cool, and we got a Ballista, which is nice. So essentially, if this is a land, I'm going to throw it on the bottom because I don't need more lands. Interestingly, because of the... Goodbye. Because of the way that the deck, or the matchmaking is currently, I have no idea how the system is going to rate my deck. I feel like it probably is rating my deck really low, right? Because like it has Planeswalkers, obviously. Like Karn is probably the thing that brings up the most. That and like Walking Ballista, and then like maybe Tezzeret, the new one, the blue one, but not the Schemer. So he didn't crack Evolving Wilds last turn. Very interesting. I'll show blue, because it's not guaranteed that they're going to be playing, or that these types of decks are going to be playing black, so I don't need to show that just yet. That said, what do I want to play here? Prism draws a card, but I don't need a card, so I think I want to get Servo Schematic down. An argument I think could be made for playing the Swamp now. No, I don't think I would be able to Herald, right? I'd have 4 next turn. No, yeah, I wouldn't be able to Herald now. So next turn I definitely want to play the Swamp. Okay, so it does crack Evolving Wilds now. But yeah, so I theoretically could be playing against like nothing but like quote-unquote jank decks, because I don't know how the algorithm determines what the power level of this current deck is. So playing against Sultai. Might be a Muldrotha style deck. Looks like it. Gift of Paradise, sure. Okay, so I'll go ahead and play... Might want to Prism first. Do I want a Ballista this turn instead? No, I think I do have to like kind of outvalue my opponent, which is going to be difficult since they are playing Muldrotha and I don't have a ton of removal. That's cool, because it does give me another artifact. So I mean, now I have a ton of artifacts. I would love to draw a Herald of Anguish, but my opponent can play a 5-drop here. What the heck? Are they playing like 5-color Planeswalkers? What the heck?
We need to move quickly.
And he's gonna have 3 mana. What? My opponent is playing 5-color Planeswalkers. So this is bad, because my opponent is playing Value the Deck. I guess I'll attack Teferi first. I mean, I essentially have to play Zahid here. And hope he doesn't have a counterspell as well. If my opponent, like, that would be like the nut draw for my opponent, right?
Hey, that was uncalled for.
Shut up, Teferi. So I hope that it works. I'll tap this. But they're already, like, looking at their mana. Don't you dare have a counterspell. Okay, so they didn't have a counterspell. That doesn't mean I'm out of the woods. Teferi could -3 to get rid of it, but then it would just die. Unless, of course, my opponent has another thing. But if they have another thing, then maybe I can, like, Walking Ballista, kill it, yada, yada, yada. So what does my opponent have? Sure, plus, yeah.
Hurry.
Opponent on 6 cards. They played a land. Playing a really strange deck, especially since they're running... Like, it seems like they're running a lot of basics, right? Like, I can't believe that... wow, lame. I can't believe that they're actually getting a lot... And they... Man, that... Gift of Paradise, I'm sure, does a ton of work in this deck, right? Like, he's been able to play even a double white card from that. But I can't believe that this is very consistent. So let's go ahead and Zahid again. I mean, he didn't have a counter spell last time. I can't wait for a Vraska's Contempt when he doesn't have a swamp up. Okay. So, I mean, now he can just -3 and deploy another Planeswalker. Still drawing lands. Nope, +1.
Keep up the pace.
Just wants the value. So this is exactly why I don't like general Planeswalkers. So she can just kill that. Wow. I think I've, like, already lost. This is the exact reason I don't like generalized Planeswalkers. Like, new Tezzeret, I think, is good enough. I would prefer if it was a little less general. But, things like the new Sarkhan, the new Liliana, right? Those cards are incredibly deck-specific. I think I just have to do this. Let's try and draw a card. Oh, let's try and draw a land. There's no way you counter that. Okay. Cool. But yeah, like the Planeswalkers who are like just good agnostic of the type of deck they're in, I think is kind of lame. And I very well might be the minority here, but you get situations like this where, one, I'm very surprised that my opponent's been able to get this together, because it does look like they're running a relatively weak mana base. Relatively weak. I mean, they do have these. But you get situations like this where you can just play 5-color Planeswalkers, and you don't have to have a strategy. You just play cards that are difficult to deal with. And I'm not saying I don't like Planeswalkers. I love Planeswalkers. I just think that they should be more restricted, right? Like, obviously, the new Liliana's not going to be in this deck. The new Sarkhan's not going to be in this deck. I mean, it could be in the deck. It's just unlikely, because, like, only the plus matters. Only the first plus, I should say. Sheltering Suns, sure. It's a 3, and that's a 7. I have to ping that at least once.
No more games.
I'm gonna ping this. So I'm gonna kill... Oh no, Vraska plus is 2. It's possible I should have just double hit Vraska.
I will tear you apart.
I'm not sure. Yeah, let me know what you guys think about how... okay.
You know what? I'm not done yet.
I am. I don't think you guys are gonna be upset at me for conceding that game. They had 5 cards in hand, 2 Planeswalkers, and an Oath. I had nothing. Wait. How did I get matched against that? Like, I'm not saying my deck is bad, but it's running a ton of bad cards alongside cards that aren't really played. That was playing a bunch of Planeswalkers and, like, sweepers that I know see play. Going up against Numlocked. How did I face that? I guess like since it's a combination of deck strength and rank, maybe like their deck strength was high but their rank was low, and then my rank was quote unquote high but my deck strength was low. Maybe, I have no idea. Anyway, my opponent mulliganed. This is actually a really slow hand. It does have Tez on 4, Tez on 5 if I can draw another land, so I'm gonna keep it because I'm greedy. I don't know if I should have been matched against that type of deck, to be honest. Again, I'm not trying to disparage my opponent's deck. They're playing it, they're having fun, I'm sure. That's what matters. But I think designing Planeswalkers like Teferi leads to, in my opinion, bad gameplay. Hello, Mr. Horseman. I'm going to kill you. So my opponent is playing Abzan. Do I want to just kill it now? Do I want a Renegade Map? If I Renegade Map now, I can Zahid next turn. Darn Renegade Map coming in tapped. This is actually very important sequencing here. I think I'm going to Renegade Map so I can Zahid next turn. I do think that's a stronger play. Is it true? I don't know. I think I'll like immediately have Buyer's Remorse. Because if I kill this, I assume they're going to deploy another 3-drop. So yeah, I don't think any of my creatures would have been protected. Oh, they didn't have no land. Okay, well, I'm probably just going to win this game off the back of the fact that they have no land. And I'm fine with that. I'm still stuck on the last game. No, yes, submit that one, sure. Orange being the thing that like shows that you have targeted something, I think is really strange. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that last match. That seems so strange. One, that I got matched up against it, and two, I don't know, the design of the Planeswalker. All of the M19 Planeswalkers seem fine, design-wise. I think Tezzeret's a little general. I don't even remember Vivian. And Ajani's like always Ajani, right? Like you have to have creatures for him to like matter, and that's like super not specific, but like without any creatures, like he's trash. So I'm actually just gonna get a swamp here, and I think I'm just gonna play Tezzeret because Tezzeret draws me cards. Or do I want to make a dude? What are you doing? I have a lot of Planeswalkers in my hand. Nah, I just want to draw cards. Drawing cards is good. There are very few better sensations in Magic than just drawing a bunch of cards. There's no way I'm attacking. Another great thing about Zahid, doesn't die to Fatal Push. You pay for it. It's not a 4-drop. Real good. Does die to Vraska's though. Good thing I don't care. Sure. Attack him. Oh no, it hurt.
Stakes are clear now.
Play a Void. What am I going to be casting? I will keep it on top. I'll play Tezzeret. Tap Zhalfirin Void, you stupid game. Oh, I'm gonna have to lose one because I forgot to also make it to tap that. I'm gonna plus this Tezzeret.
A valuable addition.
And then 0 this Tezzeret.
Let's see how
and now if he casts something,
genius.
I can counter it. One of these is gonna hit for 2. That's fine. I don't care. He can't kill them yet. Unless he plays a land. So History of Benalia, fun fact, gets countered. I do need to pay a life because I forgot to tap. It should be fine. And then tap this for Improvise. Bada bing, bada boom. You have no History of Benalia. And next turn I can play a Karn and get this ball really rolling. So I assume he's going to hit Tezzeret's big Tez down to 1. Or he's maybe afraid of Schemer's Emblem? He's looking at both of them. Okay, so he does decide to go there. That is fine. I need, what, 3 artifacts? Yeah. I'll play another Void because I'm greedy. I have no idea. Nah. So let us do this, this, and this, and this. Play Karn. And then let's make another token. Then draw 2 cards. No, I forgot to play Walking Ballista. Oh, I'm so stupid. I'm so sorry, everyone. I've let you down. I forgot to make a thing first. I betrayed all of your trust. I'm so sorry. Oh, why? What have I done? No, play this. No. Game, why are you getting freaky out? Stop it. Stop. Arena, stop. Let me battle. Come on. Oh my gosh. Arena is not having a good time. Let's see. I can do 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to keep the 5/5 up for blocking. Holy crap, Arena, please. I don't want to run out of time, so I'm just letting this happen. After this spell resolves and I end my turn, I'll try and fix it. Blossoming Defense. Fatal Push. Sure, that's fine. Wait, did it just fix itself by itself? What the heck, game? That's so stupid. I didn't do anything. I didn't change anything. No, not Ixalan's Binding. Oh, you suck. That was the one I wanted to keep. Let's play this. I mean, I'm just gonna keep drawing a bunch of cards.
Cold logic will always win.
In fact, nah, screw it. Just make more dudes. Who doesn't like dudes? Tap Zhalfirin Void, you stupid game. Holy crap. Ooh, this is a good card. Oh my god. So, they fixed a lot of bugs. One of the ones I'm glad that they fixed was the darkening of stuff. They fixed that so stuff doesn't darken anymore. Let's get a Prism. I guess I can keep up Metallic Rebuke. I can do that anyway. What am I talking about? Prism up! Just draw all of the cards. Oh my god, the value is so real. Who needs a treasure? I don't. We do. We do. I don't know the stupid song. Something, something all day long. We do. We do. Down to 36. Fatal Push? I don't care. Sure. You have nothing on board. Nope. Sack this for blue. And tap. And tap. No, thank you. So it can have some great burst potential, as you can probably tell. But it also has fantastic control potential, except against a start like my last opponent. All right, I need a card from you, sir. Feel free to give me a land. Okay, you can't give me a land. Feel free to give me that Walking Ballista. Thanks. Don't just keep drawing cards. I love cards.
Brilliance comes easily to me.
Schematic. Should tap. It's up here in Void. It's fine. Everything's fine. Just a Ballista for a ton, right? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, Ballista for 3 sounds fine. Let's Ballista for 2. I was gonna say cycle the fetid pools, but who cares? I know I don't. Go and start trying to kill my opponent. It's already been a 30-minute video? What the heck? Why is this video so long? It's fine. I'll probably end up playing another game, just because this deck is cool and fun, and I want to show it off. Just like... Doctor... Sure, what are you targeting? I'll finish my thought in a second. Sure. So on my cats video, on the 1.5, the bonus one, people like unanimously voted to keep it as part of the. Oh, my opponent's just dead. Yeah, cool. To keep it as part of the rotation. Cool. I will heed your words. Similar to that, in the comments of this video, I'm going to put a comment for 30 minutes. Yeah, I want to give you guys another game. That was essentially 1.5 games. I'm going to have a comment for each of 6 deck suggestions that I got going against Tavo 10. That I'm going to play after I play blue-green ramp. So the decks are, and they're gonna have comments. So just like the ones that you want to see soonish. I'm probably gonna try and do all of them before Ravnica comes out, but it's just gonna be kind of slow because a lot of these have like rares and stuff that it's gonna be kind of hard to get. Was that a suggestion? Yeah, it was. That's fine. I'm counting it. All right. While my opponent's thinking, white black or mono white angels. Bolas mid-range, the new Bolas. So I play Bolas control right now, but someone suggested just a mid-range version since that technically is the flavor of the month, the more popular one. Module combo, that's like the decoction module in... Okay, I don't remember any of the other ones. A Muldrotha deck that focuses on enchantments. A Jund Aristocrats deck where you use a lot of cool sacrifice shenanigans. Or a mill deck. Now, I feel like there's one I'm missing. And these wouldn't be added to the rotation. These would just be kind of one-off videos, unless, people really like them. I'll keep this. Has a 1 and a 2. And some good anti-aggro stuff. If I forgot yours, just let me know. I feel like I've forgotten one, but I don't actually know. But yeah, so there's going to be a comment for each of those individually. You can thumbs up any of the ones that you want to see. Because I'm just gonna order them, probably 24 hours after the video's up. I'm going to just order them in the order of how many likes they got, and that'll be the order that I do them in. And I'm not gonna give like any promises on how long it's gonna take for me to get to them, but I am going to try and get out. I'm gonna try and get them out relatively soon. The issue is that I'm getting my wisdom teeth pulled on the 18th. Which means for about 3 days, I'm not going to be able to make commentary. So I'm still going to record gameplay, but I'm not going to be able to speak because my mouth is going to hurt. So for those the 18th, I'm just going to do a video. So this is the 17th, so the 18th. Yeah, the 18th, I'm just going to do the blue-green ramp deck, right? But for the 19th, the 20th, and I guess the 21st, what would you guys want to see that isn't going to have commentary? Do you want me to just play, like, a couple best-of-3 games? Do you want me to do a non-commentary draft? Do you want me to just, like, put jank together? Let me know. Because, I'm not going to be able to talk, but I still want to make content for you guys. So whatever you guys think will be best suited for having, little commentary. Maybe I just play a burn deck or an aggro deck, right? Merchant just put out a sweet Goblin Gutter Snipe. It's not Goblin Gutter Snipe. a Gutter Snipe deck. Why do you do this? That was pretty cool and quote-unquote brainless, that I could do that wouldn't necessarily require too much commentary. So I can do that. I can do a budget build where the thing about budget builds is I feel like those more than others really need the discussion. I do want to do a budget build at some point, but I don't know on what. I have to think about that. Yeah, I have to think about like good budget cards from M19. But yeah, if there's something in particular that you think would lend itself really well to doing a non-commentary video for a couple days, let me know. Because I'm still going to make a video. It's just not going to have any commentary. There's still going to be, game sound. But I can't no speak when my teeth are pulled out and my face is numb. Opponent playing pretty stock blue-white control so far. Are we gonna kind of freaking out again? I can play Herald of Anguish here pretty easily. But I mean, I'd be very surprised if my opponent didn't have something to cast. Dude, give me priority. I mean, like, he has priority for something. I mean, he has priority for Field of Ruin, I guess. So that could be, like, throwing me off. But... Ooh, Karn. I don't know which one I would... I don't know which one, like... I want to resolve more. I guess I want Karn to resolve more. They both kind of give me card advantage. Karn draws me cards, and Herald makes my opponent discard. If I cast Herald, I would leave, what, one mana? One land open? So he couldn't be censored. Karn could be censored. So I guess there's that to take into account. I don't think my opponent is going to be running that. And I am going to just pay the life here. It should not matter. Okay. I assume this will get countered, in the hopes that it makes way for Karn. It can get Vraskas, which is very important. So my opponent, I think, is just on blue-white. Darn. So that would have been Karn, which is, I guess, fine. Yeah, okay. That's fine. I was kind of hoping I went up against aggro, or had, like, a super bursty hand. Because I don't want to make the video too long. Ah, it's back! Okay, opponent isn't playing Teferi on turn 5, which is good for me. It does mean they probably have an unconditional counter. So I have a Fetid Pools. Syncopate drops me anyway. I don't think my opponent has Censor. But the problem is if I don't... I don't need to play this as a land, right? So I might as well do this and play around Censor. I do assume that my opponent has a counterspell here. They don't, so that's good. They might have Seal Away.
Evil must not be
An argument could actually be made to just -2 here. Right? Like, it's a 5-power guy. And my +1 is probably just going to get me a land. And then my opponent, like, cast away Karn. I think it's correct to -2 against control here. It's probably going to be sealed away, or what's the word I'm looking for? Settle the Wreckaged, even though it's just like a single card. But I mean that's something that he has to do. Wait, do you have nothing? That doesn't seem right. Okay, there it is. Okay, there's the cast out that I assumed was coming. I am probably going to Renegade Map at the end of my opponent's turn, maybe? I don't know. I'm not sure. Sure, that's fine. I don't have a way to get rid of that, unfortunately. So let's see what they do with this search. What are you doing with search? Okay, they kept it on top. They thought oh, sorry about that. I keep bumping into the desk. They thought a little bit about it, so I assume it's a good card. I don't think I need to use Renegade Map. I do hope that I don't draw a land. No land, no land, no land, no whammies. Luckily, I can turn Fountain of Renewal into a card, which is cool, and I can turn Fetid Pools into a card. And I can do that end of turn. I did draw a land. That's unfortunate. I will go ahead and play it. And I will just attack. My opponent could obviously have some sort of removal, but I do think that's fine. If they do, I will probably cycle the Fetid Pools now. Like, if they don't take the 5, then I'll probably... Yeah, that's fine. I might as well cycle first. And I'm fine taking damage here. Let's go ahead and cycle this. Darn. I could drop this. That's... Yeah, no, that's fine. Okay, my opponent is notably on only 3 cards. Is there anything that I could do? It'd be a 1 mana card, so I guess it'd be another Fountain of Renewal. I think what I'll do is, because I still could get Metallic Rebuke, and I might as well just Fountain of Renewal right now. I would love for my opponent to counter that. Okay, and I got Metallic Rebuke, so that's awesome. So it wouldn't have been able to do anything here, right? So, so I am able to counter something if they do try and like cast Teferi. That I think is actually incorrect. I don't need these cards at all. So I'm just getting another swamp, and like I'm set on lands, so maybe my opponent was looking to thin their own deck. Maybe I don't know, but I don't necessarily think that was correct. Let's see what they do a search. I mean, it didn't even like add to search all that much. It kept it on top. Looks like. Yep. So I actually want them to cast Teferi here. Treasure Map. Unfortunately, Metallic Rebuke doesn't actually do anything against Treasure Map. So it is unlikely that they have a counterspell because they tapped low. I think I am going to get a land just so that I have a slightly smaller chance of drawing a land on my turn. It's a smaller chance, but darn. I am just gonna activate pools. Cool. I can cast this, right? So I can cast the Herald. But I don't know if they have a counterspell. I think it's correct to just try and run them out of cards. It also means they can't treasure map here. It does put my shields down. I mean, that's the thing, right? It puts my shields down against Tezzeret. Or, not Tezzeret, against Teferi. Like, if they counter me and then Teferi on their turn, it's going to be abysmal. Do I think I can wait a turn? I mean, if I wait a turn, then I can have Herald of Anguish plus Metallic Rebuke. Let me know what you would have done. Pause the video. Let me know what you would do in the comments. Or don't. I don't care. I'll read it, but I think oh crap. I think I'm gonna wait. I think I'm gonna wait. I think it's better to wait. I always play really conservatively. And I think it is relatively likely that they have a counterspell. Likely enough that I would rather them try and tap out for Teferi. And if they don't, then I'll be able to Herald. I should be able to Herald and hold up Metallic Rebuke because I have a land in hand, I think. So it looks like they kept it on top. Okay, so I have another land. So it looks like my opponent's not casting anything. And it's unfortunate that they drew another land. The reason it's unfortunate is because now they can counter it and still pay mana. Darn. Well, I'm going to use it. Yeah, darn. That's unfortunate. Alright. So, they probably have a counterspell. Maybe they syncopate for 4 and I can cast Metallic Rebuke. Okay, it resolves. I am surprised. I assume it's going to get cast out though. Which is, I guess, fine. It does get rid of something of theirs. Oh no, because if they cast out, it costs them 4. Oh, they commit? No. Go away. And they can't count. They can't cast. They can't pay for it. Sure, treasure. I don't care. My opponent doesn't want to cast memory for me. Like, that's bad. And they're gonna discard another card. Oh, it resolved it so good. Awesome. Sweet. This is the boon I needed. It is a threat. If nothing else, it's going to get me a card. What the heck? Angel of Sanctions? I guess it's fine, actually. I'm fine if my opponent just casts Angel of Sanctions. I'll just battle. I'll battle at the bridge. Do it. Do it. You won't. You fool. The mad lad's done it. I also think he should have used treasure map here, because he could have pretended to have counter magic up. But yeah, I just kill this easily. So this is not a traditional deck. So I'm gonna tap these. Oh wait, I don't need to do that. I'm only gonna do it for 4, which means I can just tap those. Which means I should just do this, you stupid person. Yeah, so X is going to be 4. And because my opponent didn't hold up Treasure Cove, or didn't activate Treasure Cove, he's down 3 treasures, so he can't like do anything about this. So now he's going to discard another card. I will go ahead and just play. You know what? Nah, I might actually want to use that. So I will just play a Renegade Map. Then I will end turn. So my opponent's going to discard another card. Discards a negate, because I already have the thing out. So they could flip as Kanta, which is fine, because I have a 5/5 that makes you discard. Looks like they decided to keep it, though, which means they can't flip it. So whatever they have here is good. I can activate this, right? Yes. But the question is, will I want to? He might force my hand. He might use Field of Ruin. I think he's going to use Field of Ruin. Yeah. That is fine. We'll just use this. I think that also puts him off a land, doesn't it? Because the target's gone, so we won't be able to search together. And I'm pretty sure the correct answer here is Metalspinners, because it's 2 draw. Yeah, so he put himself off a land there. So I am going to just draw a card. Question is, do I attack? I don't actually, excuse me, I don't actually think I attack here. Do I? Because he probably just seals it away. And right now I'm just eating away at his hand. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to cast Sai. Yeah, I'm going to cast Sai. And see what my opponent does. If they counter it, I attack for 5. If they don't counter it, I don't need to attack. Cool. Which means I'm going to crack this. Get an island. Don't know why those were mixed. Play my island. And cast Ballista for 2. Even if it gets countered, I draw a card. I don't go down on card advantage at all. And if it gets countered, I attack you for 5. Well, I have actually no idea what my opponent's doing. They only tapped 1 land, so. What are you doing? Treasure map? Blink of an eye. How rude, sir. I mean, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. So my opponent could... So my opponent will get Search, which is fine. They'll also get Treasure Map, or Treasure Cove, which is fine. Because of how few cards they have in their hand. So they will be able to draw a card. Sure, that's fine. Everything's fine. Okay, they kept it on top. So they're up to 7 cards. So I guess they could, like, approach here. Approach would be good. Played an Evolving Wells, so I do not care about that at all. Play it first. Sure, that is fine. I mean, they have 1 card in hand and a Memory, and I don't think they could cast Memory to get rid of my Herald of Anguish, but I just don't think it's correct. Like, it gives me so much gas. I really want you to cast Memory here. I don't need I have other Herald of Anguishes in the sea. Oh my god, I didn't mean for this video to be 50 minutes. I'm so sorry. The deck is so fun. Draw a card from Treasure Trove, sure. Trying to find something, I guess. I mean, I can activate Walking Ballista twice on my following turn. Oh, this sorcery, right? That'd be stupid if it was instant. Ooh, Antiquities War, so good. Absolutely killer here. I think I want to attack first. Because if my opponent settles the wreckage, they're going to be down enough cards that I'm more or less fine casting Herald of Anguish. He will cost more, but I don't think I care. I think I can resolve Antiquities War and Herald, just because of how much mana I have. I mean, that's the beauty of this deck, right? Like, it just draws so many cards that a low land count, I think I'm on 23. No, I'm on 22. A low land count like 22 is totally fine, totally reasonable, even playing a bunch of, like, 5, 6, and 7 drops. Well, I guess you can't really count this as a 7 drop. I think my opponent might have Settle the Wreckage. And I'm fine with that. Wow, okay. So I'm going to go ahead and ping you. I'm going to get fewer cards, or fewer lands, but I think I only have 3 lands left in the deck anyway, so this is fine. Sure. I mean, I could, like, draw in response, but I legit don't think I need to. So let's get a swamp and a swamp. Cool. Blockers. Damage. He can only have 1 counterspell anyway. Do I have enough for this? I should. Cool. So even if he has a counter for this, which he didn't, I can just cast Antiquities War. He might have counter for this, in which case I should have just, like, waited. But he didn't, and I assumed he didn't. The chances that he did were relatively slim, and I was fine with that. Neither of these are 1-drop. I'll take Prism. I'd rather draw a card than get a 1/1, just because he could, like, Fumigate or something. But I mean, my opponent is under heavy duress here, right? Like, they're gonna lose this card. They can't even search here. Yeah, I mean, my opponent just is not in a good shape. In 2 turns, these become 5/5s, so he has to find another Settle the Wreckage before then, which he can if he uses excuse me, if he uses memory. I will say I totally forgot about these treasure because of how far away they are. I would really prefer treasure to always be close to the lands. Like, these should always just be super over here. It's not a big deal, but I absolutely forgot that they were there. That said, he only had 1 card in hand. He was only going to be able to counter 1 of these, and either of them resolving was fine. Treasure Cove, sure. I mean, I think I'm just in such a dominant position here. Sure. I'm saying sure a lot, my apologies. Uses Azcanta main, sure. I don't know if you guys caught the first part of that, but that sneeze snuck up on me. Hieroglyphic, sure. I still don't understand. I guess you can cycle it. I don't know. I just love Glimmer so much. Glimmer of Genius. I love the card. Okay, I get another artifact. I will get a Puzzleknot. I will play a Puzzleknot. I'll attack. Oh, cool. I'll Zhalfirin Void before I attack, because I can theoretically scry something to the bottom, or see if a Metallic Rebuke's on top. That'll go to the bottom, just because it gives me a little bit more of a chance. So I have 1 Rebuke. Yeah, so I have 2. I have 1 Rebuke left in the deck. I have a 1 in 26 chance. I guess I can draw another card. Fear the power of drawing cards. Cleansing Nova would be pretty good for him here. Oh no, it's a Zhalfirin Void. That's fine. So I will attack. No, I'm gonna use this first actually. I feel like I shouldn't attack. No, I actually I think I do want to attack because I want him to get rid of something so that I have because I'm gonna have Artificers, the Antiquities War. So I think I'm fine with like him using a card to get rid of my Herald of Anguish, especially if it's a Settle the Wreckage. Like if I mean, it looks like he has to use this. Oh, so it's just Illuminations. That's fine. I don't really care. I don't care. Whatever. I don't even care. So he has to discard one of those. It's probably going to be a land. That's fine. Go ahead and play a Renegade Map. And I have no reason to crack this yet. I will probably crack at end of turn. I assume this will be a land. Sure. End turn. So I can crack this and still have Metallic Rebuke up, but I don't think he's going to cast anything that matters. Well, fun fact, I'm going to go ahead and crack this, because if my opponent, if I draw Metallic Rebuke, then I can counter this. I didn't, but that's fine, because I don't care, because my opponent has 2 mana. They're dead. Why did I crack that? It doesn't actually matter. Yeah, no, dude, they're dead. I forgot Antiquities War. I shouldn't have cracked that, because, like, Antiquities War, but you know, whatever. They're dead. Goodbye. You've just been terminated. Hasta la vista, baby. Rip-a-roni. Oh! 2 victories to Antiquities War. That card is pretty good. Pretty good. Sorry for the hour-long video. Didn't expect it to be that long, but you know, this deck is fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will be opening a pack. Got a sweet Torment of Scarabs. Cool, cool. We'll be buying a pack, opening a pack, because I have gems to play draft. And boop, and boop. Oh, cool, I get a guaranteed rare. And I got a mythic, which is going to help me to make the decks that you guys want to see. Speaking of which, I'm just going to recap here. Let me know, first of all, what you guys want me to do during the few days that I'm going to be unable to speak after I get my wisdom teeth pulled. Let me know if there's a specific format you want to play, if you want me to play certain types of decks that like don't necessarily need commentary. If you want me to, like, I don't know, play any decks that you've seen other people play. In addition, in the comments there will be at least 6 comments, maybe another one if someone reminds me of a deck I forgot, for which decks I'm going to make after I play Blue-Green Ramp. So those are White-Black or Mono-White Angels, Nicol Bolas Midrange, Module Combo, Enchantment Muldrotha, Jund Aristocrats, and Mill. Again, those decks are not going to be added to the rotation. They're just going to be standalone decks, unless, of course, I and you, has to be both, can't be one or the other, love the deck. So yeah, go ahead and let me know that information in the comments. I apologize for the fact that this video is super long, but I hope you guys liked it regardless. The deck is super fun to play. It's also relatively cheap to make. There's a lot of mythics in it, but rares are usually the problem. Go ahead and tap that like button, add a subscription to your mana pool, cast a comment to the comment section down below, and until next time, all will be one.